Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 2 issue number 2. And this issue was quite interesting, and I do feel as though that this whole issue is moving the whole storyline in a quite fast direction for what they're trying to go for. And I feel as though it does work, but at the same time I do feel as though that they are sort of rushing things in a way, and I do feel as though I probably will expand upon this when I actually get to certain parts of the actual comic. But yeah, overall I did really enjoy this one. There's some really interesting things throughout this issue, but I do feel as though again that majority of the stuff they're really rushing into stuff. So I'm so curious to see where things do go eventually. But for now, it's really good. I'm really surprised about how to keep up the quality from the last issue. So yeah. Okay, so first getting into things, I'm going to start off with the villain soul side of things. So we start off with all the villains in the Teledrome talking to Rita, and she's got a whole new look and everything, and she's saying that basically everyone, basically you need to do better, I'm not going to accept all your failures and all that. So then Casey goes into a room and looks at some morphers that Krang has made, and these ones are defective, but there's only one that works, and it was Casey Jones' ones that worked. So, you know, that's really interesting that Krang has made some morphers and all that. I do feel as though that maybe they might be expanding on the Power Ranger universe lore and stuff like that a bit too much, as I feel as though that even though this is cool to include this into this universe, and I'm pretty sure they are saying that this is canon to the Power Ranger universe, but I feel as though that they're definitely taking too much advantage of this and really just going to the unrealistic side of things. And I know that this whole show and the comics and all that is unrealistic, but I do feel as though they're taking it a bit too far, and they just added onto stuff that didn't really, not necessarily needed, but at the same time just added onto stuff. Hopefully I'm making that point clear, where yeah, but either way, it's still really interesting. And then that's when Rita Repulsa comes in and she's asking about Shredder, and Krang says basically you don't need to worry about him because he'll be looking out for him. So I'm so curious to see where this does go, just because we do have a scene with Shredder at the very end of the issue. So I'm sort of curious to see where things does go. But with the thing with the Power Rangers and Krang's Rangers and all that, really interested to see where it does go. But I'm excited for this and really happy about it, but at the same time it's just really? You're adding on that to the lore? Great. And then go over to the Power Ranger side of things, and it's okay, I'll say. And they're talking about how to stop Casey and turn him back to being good. And that's when Tommy opens up about when he was first put on the show and how he was evil and how he came back to the good side. And I won't lie, it does feel a bit weird hearing that sort of story and coming from Tommy as well after everything that's happened. So, you know, it's really weird, but I don't really know what else to say about it. It's cool that they're bringing back references, but at the same time it just feels as though it's a bit weird to do it so soon. But I don't really know any other workaround around it. So, but I'm glad that it's there, but at the same time it just feels a bit weird now. But then after that we do have Zordon and Splinter talking about how they don't want this life for these characters and stuff like that, even though more or less Splinter and Zordon is basically the main reason why these characters have that life, and they're moaning about it. So I don't really understand what their point is. If saying that basically they don't want them to go out and fight evil, they don't want them to die, they want them to be kids, even though Zordon was the one who gave them the powers. Splinter taught them to be ninjas. So I'm not exactly too sure what their point is. They're the reason why they're doing this in the first place. So yeah, it's very hypocritical, I'd say. And then in the next scene we do have April O'Neil talking with a Bulk and Skull, but that's when Rita Repulsa starts her invasion, and this is, I'll say, where the whole comic steps up a notch, just because you've got Leatherhead and Slash, which I won't lie, it's really cool to see other 12 villains in this comic crossover. It's really cool to see other characters in this universe and be able to expand and go beyond just the normal normal type of characters which you would normally see in a crossover. So I must admit, I do really like that, and I do like Leatherhead's and Slash's designs. I think they do look really cool. In fact, I would like them these designs to come over to a different version of Turtles. I do feel so that these ones are unique enough, but but at the same time, like, pull elements from other versions of Turtles to be its own thing, which I do really enjoy. But I will say this about the Leatherhead thing: I don't really like him being the villain, and with him being the villain in this one, I would much rather him be the good guy. But this is when things get a whole lot more interesting, as you got Bebop, Master Stockman, Scorpina, and Casey Jones try to invade the Power Rangers base, and they get inside, but the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, as well as Raphael's there, and all trying to stop them, and doing some really interesting things. Casey even breaks Raphael's mask, and I must admit, it looks amazing, so cool. There was some other really interesting things in here. I mean, I thought Scorpina versus Green Ranger was okay, I would say. If anything I had to say about the Bebop versus the Red Ranger, it reminded me a lot of the TV show when they'll just like throw bullets or bombs at the Rangers and then they'll just go flying back. So it did give me like that kind of vibes, which I must admit, it did feel kind of cool. But then the most shocking thing about this issue was the fact that Shredder turns up in the Power Ranger base and throws some shurikens at Bebop's blast or gun, and then that blows up and he reveals that he doesn't want the invasion to go on, and I'm very curious to see where this all does go in the following issues. Now the Shredder thing, like I said, I am quite curious to see where it does go, but at the same time it feels though that it was put in there for a bit more shock value, and I don't really know why all of a sudden in every version of TMNT, Shredder's now just a good guy. I don't understand if this is something they're trying to push forward now and try to change everything, but at the same time, I am sort of curious to see where things does go with Shredder being a good guy. I'm not too sure if he's going to be going, like, helping the Power Rangers stop Krang or Rita, or if he's going to be doing something else, or anything like that. So I'm very curious to see where this could potentially go, but at the same time, with Shredder being, like, good now, I'm sort of on the fence, because on one hand, I like what they did with the IDW good guy Shredder, but at the same time, I don't know if they're going to keep, redoing all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious to see where it does go, but at the same time, I'm just gonna lay back a bit and just be like, see where things go before I make a full judgment about it. But yeah, overall this issue, I must admit, it was really good and really great to see some extra characters, some amazing fight scenes, some really epic stuff in this issue. Too many good things to really put into words. But like I did say before, this whole crossover, or this specific issue, has felt a bit rushed for this issue so far. Just because in this issue, we went from basically the Turtles stopping the bad guys in the last issue to now going to a full-scale invasion, and it moved pretty fast. And with this only being a 5-issue miniseries, I don't really know what else they're going to be doing in the following issues, because if it just stopped the invasion in the next issue, then this invasion was pretty, like, short really, and pretty pointless really. But at the same time, I don't really know how much longer they can actually, like, drag this invasion out, because, you know, it's only the Turtles and the Rangers going against, like Rock Soldiers, Putties, Turtle villains, Power Ranger villains. It's sort of a bit unrealistic, I would say. So I don't really know where things are going to be going in the following issues, and I'm quite curious to see where things do go and how long things are, like, dragged out. But yeah, I think, I'm not too sure really, because I feel as though that this invasion thing is a good idea, but I feel as though they might be rushing into it a bit too fast. But if they drag it out a bit too long, then, you know, it's too long. But if they stop in the next issue, then this whole invasion was a waste of time. So I'm not too sure really what to make of it, but I'm curious to see where it does go. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm quite curious to hear what you say about this in the comment section below. Like, what do you think about this issue and, like, certain aspects of this, like, whole issue? Like, do you like the invasion so far? Do you like the fact that Krang has new, or created Power Rangers and Shredder's return? I'm quite curious to hear what you say about it. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. If you do have something, please share, like, subscribe, and all stuff. Goodbye, yo. Bye.